Good morning, listeners of the West Regional Station of the Cameroon Radio Television FM 93.5. I am Kelvin Nembo. Thank you so much for making our time to join us on this other edition of your favorite youth magazine program, Talent Tracer. Talent Tracer is a platform that we offer young people who are engaged in different activities, especially entrepreneurship, to come talk about their businesses, the challenges, and the way forward, and equally get to share their experiences with their peers and encourage them to emulate their example in a bit to help the government of Cameroon balance the youth unemployment equation. On today's edition of the program, we have as guest Sharon Ineke. She's a third-year student at the Chang University. She's equally a young and vibrant entrepreneur. She specializes in snail business. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin. Good morning. I'm really honored to be part of this program.
Sharon, can you briefly present to our listeners who you are?
My name thus Kongo Etaka Sharon Ineke. I hail from the southwest region of Cameroon, precisely from Manu Division. And I'm a student currently studying at the University of Chang, Clinical and Psychopathology, my final year. And I'm an entrepreneur. I'm equally a gender equality activist. Now, on entrepreneurship, I specialize in snail business. That's my focus. And gender equality activist, I'm part of the World Girls Want project sponsored by Athena Network, a non-governmental organization based in the UK that came to Africa to support young girls, to empower young girls with the necessary skills that will permit them navigate the society without stress. I've undergone a 1-year training of empowerment to be able to become a gender equality activist. So I could say I have the skills. I'm fully empowered to take on the role.
And coming back to snail business, how has it been like?
I no longer move from one place to another with my bucket. I could sit at the comfort of my house and carry out my business. Meaning I have clients who they already know that this is the business she does. If I need these snails, this is the person I need to contact. I mean, my flyers are almost everywhere in the West region and even in the Southwest region and even out of the country. So I comfortably sit at my home and I get calls. I just wrap it up and deliver. Within the town, I do the delivery myself. Out of the town, we shall be coming back to the marketing process of the business, but okay. I would like to find out from you what actually motivated you to embrace entrepreneurship and particularly to specialize in this snail business. We should recall to our listeners that you are a final year student at the Chang University and you didn't want to just concentrate only on your studies. You are in school at the same time into entrepreneurship. First, I would say right from childhood, I've been trained to be independent. I grew up in a home where you go to school, get back, and you have to go to the market to sell. So growing up, I'm already used to being independent. And looking at where I come from, there is actually nobody to support me. It's not like I come from a rich family where I have my way at any time. Anything I want to do, I'm going to get. Anywhere I want to go to, I'll go. So my biggest motivation was my background and the way I was raised. So when I left the Southwest region and came to Chang to study, my older sister had started the business and I just joined her. And 2 years later, when she left it, I had to take it up from there because I won't sit and depend on her, as a means of livelihood. It's helping me actually. I am able to pay my fees. I'm able to do other things for myself and even help my junior ones at home. So that was my biggest motivation, my background.
Now, let's talk about the journey. How has it been like?
There's been a lot of challenges. My capital for this business came from my elder sister. When she was leaving it, she had equipped me with all that I need to know concerning the business. She linked me up with customers, told me how the business runs, what I should do and what not to do. She literally trained me in it. I mean, in the process of working with her, she told me every little secret I needed to know. And when she was leaving, she handed me capital. Actually, she bought the snails and handed it over to me that this is your capital. I'm leaving it to you. You should know how to manage it in order not to fall. So from there, I took it up, making sure that no matter what I do, I don't eat up my capital. Even if I'm going to use up my profit all, my capital remains. I mean, that's the background of my business. If it goes, my business falls. So one of the challenges I've been facing is managing school and managing the business. Most of the times, I cannot live up to certain commands because I have school to attend to. I cannot also leave school and focus on my business. I mean, that education I'm acquiring is helping me manage the business more. So that's one challenge, my managing the two, but I still find a way to navigate
the two, it. You manage the two is a challenge, but yet all of them are important.
Yes, all of them are important. So I just have to manage it the way I see it. Another challenge is getting the snails. There are times when you go to the market and you don't find snails. And maybe the one I have stock at home, it's finished or almost finishing, and there's a whole lot of command that
I was about asking you, where do you get the snails? How do you even process the snails, make them ready for consumption?
Like I was saying, getting the snails is one challenge. I buy my snails here in the West region.
Where, to be precise?
Sancho in particular. That's where I go get my snails. And most of the times, if I cannot get it from Sancho, I'll move down to Melon or all those towns going to Douala. That's where I go get them most of the times if I don't find in Sancho. And now when I get those snails, I process them myself. I mean, I get it like directly from the forest, and I come watch them myself. If I'm to dry or if I'm to cook, I do them myself and deliver. So it's something like a sole proprietorship. I do everything myself. I don't have workers. So that's why it's difficult to do all that and still manage school. And at some point, I was even failing in my school because I was paying more attention to my business. And then I came to realize that if I waste more time in acquiring my education, it's equally going to break my business. So I had to call a break and then focus on school. Now, another challenge is living up to my commands. Because like I said, getting the snails most times is difficult, especially at this period. Getting snails now is a very difficult thing. You can barely find it anywhere. And even if you find it, you find at very high prices. And now if I get at high prices and I'm giving to my customers at prices that they are not used to coming from me, it's going to be challenging. So mostly during the dry season, what I do is I stop selling. And now during the raining season, when I can get the snails, I pick it up from there and continue. The good thing is my customers understand this aspect.
Where do the customers come from? Are they only in the West region or in other towns in Cameroon or even abroad?
Yeah, I have customers spread all over Cameroon, all over the world. I sit at the comfort of my home with my phone and I'm able to leverage my social media platforms with my business. I get calls or messages, I want snails. So that's just how I get my customers. Here in the West region, I have a whole lot of customers that know me in person. And now in the Southwest, in the center, in Littoral, in the Northwest, the UK, in America, in Canada, I have customers spread all over.
Now, talking about leveraging the internet and social media in order to better promote your products and grow your business, get clients, how do you actually do this?
I'm in literally all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I have WhatsApp. So all these social media platforms, my name's on it are Sharon Eneke. So if you just go on any and tap Sharon Eneke, my profile comes out. And now this is what I do. I get my flyers. My flyers are in my phone. I get and I post with some photos of my products. And maybe a photo of me processing the snails, because you need to convince the people out there that it is you and you're not scamming them. So what I do is I make videos of me processing my snails, and now I post it alongside a photo of the different sizes of my pack of snails. My flyer has my contact and it has my location.
And what's the contact?
My contact is 673 564647.
That's a business contact.
That's my business contact. At any time you text me, you get me. On WhatsApp, you get me. That's how I grow my business, get more clients.
So when somebody actually contacts you and tells you he or she is in need of snails, depending on the quantity, what is the procedure?
Okay, when you get to me that you need snails, I actually don't try to rush, because rushing is going to be like trying to destroy or send away my customer. So I take my time and I ask you when you need it. So I would know how long I would take to process, or if I have already processed snails, I'll tell you I have this quantity. If it's not up to what you want, then I'll tell you to give me some time. And if you cannot, then I would say you should take the one I have and maybe get another person, or I get another person for you. Because I'm not the only one into this business. I know of other people in the West region and in the Southwest region that are also into this business. So we work hand in hand. If you come to me and I cannot deliver snails to you, I would probably link you up to another person, or get it from the person and give it to you. That's just how it runs.
Have you received any training organized by local and regional authorities or non-governmental organizations or some ministries? For instance, the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education. Have you taken part in any workshop they have organized to enhance the skills of young entrepreneurs like you that has been beneficial to you in one way or the other as far as running your business is concerned?
So far, my only training I've received as concerned building my entrepreneurial skills is the What Girls Want project. Despite the fact that in as much as it trained me to become a gender equality activist, it equally trained me to improve my skills on entrepreneurship. While I was undergoing that training, there was a 2 months set aside for entrepreneurs. So within that 2 months, we had trainings like 3 to 4 times in a week, where we would get lessons on how to build our businesses, get more people and maximize profit and all that. So I've actually gotten those trainings. That's in the process of my training as a gender equality activist. Should I say I equally trained myself to become an entrepreneur? Because the initial place where I learned to process snails was from my auntie who raised me when I was quite small. I think I was about 8-9 years old. That's where I got the training on how to wash snails, remove from the shells, wash, process, and all of that. So that was my first training I got concerning my business.
Now, I would like to find out from you if you had the opportunity to receive assistance. It could be from the government, it could be from people of goodwill who are listening to you and want to help you grow your business. What will it be?
If there's any aspect anyone out there, maybe the government, an individual of goodwill, or an organization wants to help, I would say I will be needing finances. I mean, with these finances, I'll be able to get enough snails and put in stock. That will take me to sell throughout the dry season as well. Because if I could buy from the raining season at cheaper rates and stock throughout the dry season, I would be able to sell instead of sitting like now. I'm not having snails presently because of the high prices in the market and scarcity too. So if I was able to get enough capital by the time it was still cheap, I would be able to stock and now I'll be selling.
Are there some special equipment that you need when it comes to processing the snails, like drying, packaging?
Yeah, drying it. Since my business is not all that big, I use my gas and my pot in the house to dry it.
Is there an alternative if you had the means?
Yes, there's an alternative, an oven. With an oven, in less than 15 minutes, it's dry. But now I don't have an oven. I could spend 30 to 45 minutes on fire trying to get them dry. Whereas if I had an oven, I would simply just wash, put it there, and I get it out in 15 minutes time. That's one of the equipment I need. And I also use these Ziplocs. That's where I pass my snails, the big ones, the smaller ones. I mean, they're in different sizes. I don't use the really large ones.
What are the sizes and even the price range?
Well, for a kilo of dried snails, I mean real dried snails, it's out 25,000 francs.
That's much money.
Yeah, that's much money because considering the rates, the price at which you get from the market and all the time you take to process and all of that, before you get to watch. How many buckets of snails you watch before it gets to a kilo? So that's it. And with snails, the more you dry it, the lesser it becomes. The quantity reduces, the weight reduces. So for it to get to a kilo, it's a whole lot of snails that you've put in there. So that's why I give it at 25,000 francs. But now what I do is, during the period where there's a lot of snails, you can get a kilo of snails at 20,000 francs. And now in periods like this, it's 25,000 francs because of scarcity. There are equally other sizes. We have half kilo and 1/4. It ranges from 10,000 francs upward. Those are the different prices to get dry snails. And now a kilo of fresh snails, because I also sell fresh snails, I don't sell only the dry ones. A kilo of the fresh ones ranges at 5,000 francs. That's the standard price of fresh snails during the rainy season. And now when it becomes scarce, I give it out at 7,000 francs. So those are just the different prices.
Yeah, we have been discussing, and I think we'll take a pause, and when we come back, I will be finding out from you your future prospects.
Personne ne peut tenter, c'est toi et moi. Mon cœur t'a retrouvé, je ne peux plus respirer. C'est toi qui as misé, je suis tombée. Mon cœur t'a retrouvé, je ne peux plus respirer. C'est toi qui as misé, tombée, tombée. Arrête, arrête, j'aime t'y arrête. Arrête, j'aime t'y arrête, 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 j'aime t'y arrête. Ondoni, mwana wa rukundu, ayo. Sakani, ondoni, mwana wa rukundu, ayo. I know say for a man like you, achieving you, tous les filles vont seulement bagarrer. Mais comme maintenant t'as choisi ton coup, et je suis ton coup, et tous les filles vont seulement bagarrer. Mon cœur t'a retrouvé, je ne peux plus respirer. C'est toi qui as misé, je suis tombée. Mon cœur t'a retrouvé, je ne peux plus respirer. C'est toi qui as misé, tombée, tombée. Arrête, arrête, j'aime t'y arrête. Arrête, j'aime t'y arrête, 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 j'aime t'y arrête. Arrête, j'aime t'y arrête, 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 arrête. Sakani, ondoni, mwana wa rukundu, ayo. Sakani, ondoni, mwana wa rukundu, ayo.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is your favorite youth magazine program, Talent Tracer, and we are broadcasting live on CRTV Bafusam FM 93.5. We have as guest in the studio Sharon Ineke. She's a third-year student at the Chang University. She is a young and vibrant entrepreneur who specializes in snail business. Sharon, we want to find out from you, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Looking at where I am today, I will be having my degree by the end of the second semester, which is in July. And I'll fully have time to focus on my business.
So you don't want to go seeking for white-collar jobs. You want to continue to be the entrepreneur you have been and look for strategies to grow your business into, why not, an industry where you'll be able to recruit more young Cameroonians who are in need of jobs.
Exactly.
By so doing, you'll be helping the government curb the rate of unemployment.
Exactly. It's like you just said what's in my mind. That's actually what I intend to do. Instead of sitting and expecting the government to employ us. So what I had in mind from the beginning of this business was, growing it to the point where I'll be able to employ others, because it has a whole lot of work to do. I mean, create a section for you employ people who are going to get it from the market, those who will be washing, processing it, and those who be packaging it. So that's just the idea I had behind my business while I was growing up. I'm not just going to sit and expect somebody to employ me. I've realized that white collar jobs are really not going to give me what I want. As an entrepreneur, you have time for yourself. You have time to even do other things for yourself that, are important to you. But when you're working for, somebody, it's more like you giving your all and all to it and not having time for yourself. Most times you want to go take permission for certain things and you might refuse. But now if you as an entrepreneur, you run your business by yourself, you just create time for this thing and you'll be able to do it. It makes you have, certain amounts of money in you.
I wanted to say you are always in contact with money. Money is your friend.
Of course, you're always in contact with money. I mean, I could just sit now and I'm in need of, maybe data to stay connected online. And what I would do is, since Facebook is free, even without data, I can navigate Facebook. I just go there and I post my stuff. And in the next 20-30 minutes, there's a client who pops up, or maybe miracle, like they say miracle, not the tire Jesus. I just sit most times and this client just calls, I need 1 kilo of dry snails.
25,000 francs.
25,000 francs. And that's 25,000 francs in my hand. So you're never short of money.
Meanwhile, as a salary earner, there are moments you don't have anything and you have to wait for month end or you go borrow. And by the end of the month, the salary you receive, you need to go pay back, and it's a cycle
of you taking money and not being able to do what you want. So that's it. I know of a lot of people who are salary earners. They go to the office and at the end of the month they get their pay. And I bet you before the month ends, the money they are receiving is finished. Because you are waiting for somebody to give you money at the end of the month. And in the process of that, you go maybe borrow from somebody. Oh, please, when I get my salary, I'm going to give you. If you borrow 5 times, 20,000 francs from each person, at the end of the day, you get your salary, you have to refund that money, and you realize that there's nothing on you. Whereas as an entrepreneur, at any time in your life, you're in need of money, you'll be able to get it. There's always money in your hand that you can run little errands for yourself and buy little things you need.
There is this question that I always ask people like you that I receive on this program. You are young and this program is dedicated or is meant mostly for young people out there who are listening to us. If there is a message that you have for them, you who is already on the field, you are into entrepreneurship, you know the advantages and disadvantages, and you are able to easily navigate this very difficult entrepreneurial journey. What message do you have for them?
I mean, I'm 22 years old. I'm able to run a business of my own and see myself through school. So what I'm going to tell the young Cameroonians out there listening to me right now is you should first of all make up your mind. If your mind is not made up to do something for yourself by yourself, I bet you roam the rest of your life depending on people. That's the first thing you should do. And secondly, when your mind is made up, get something doing. Don't finish school and wait for the government to employ you, or start moving from one office to another, dropping applications, and maybe they're not calling you and you sit at home and say, oh, our government is bad. Our government is not bad. We should help the government create those employments. I mean, if you have a business idea, there's so many things we could do, we could venture in. For example, there is the high need for makeup. A lot of young girls out there don't know how to do makeup. As well as there are other young girls who know how to do it. Why not meet those who know how to do it and learn how to do it, so that you can also navigate the market? There's so many people who, when they want to go for occasions, they need their hair done, they need their nails done, they need their face well made. So there's so many things we can venture in. If you feel you don't have the capital to do something big, you can start small. While I was going to school, I'm just going to share this little story. While I was going to school, that's before I took over the business from my sister. I used to, make coconut sweet from coconuts and take to school. That's where I started. And I was getting those small monies to buy my handouts, do something for myself. And then now I had to take over for my sister and I was able to get to where I am today. So don't sit and expect somebody to, open the way for you. You can actually pave the way for yourself. If you are not going to school and you're just at home, then I think you're making the biggest mistake of your life. Get something doing. for yourself. And if you're going to school and expecting that, oh, after school, after my defense, immediately somebody's just going to employ me and I'm going to get a job and I'll be working and I'll be earning a salary, I guess you're wrong as well. Nobody is wanting to go employ somebody who is not, first of all, determined.
In a nutshell, you listening to us, Sharon is simply saying you should be the change you want to see. Sharon, thank you very much for accepting to be guest on today's edition of Talent Tracer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin, for having me. And I was going to add on something I forgot to say. Currently, I'm taking on the role as a contestant for the Miss Mr. Civic engagement. That's already in process, meaning I'm a contestant representing the West region. The civic contest is all about encouraging the youth to partake in the upcoming elections. For you to get a voter's card is actually not difficult. All you need to do is be a Cameroonian of 20 years and above and possess a national identity card. You rush to any Elecam office close to you, wherever you are, give your ID card and they're going to take your thumbprint and that's it. If you're listening to me out there, like I said, I'm contestant number 3, Sharon Ineke, for the Not Too Young to Vote contest. That's Mr. and Mr. Civic Cameroon. So on Facebook, on Instagram, you can vote for me. All you need to do is on Facebook, just search for Not Too Young to Vote campaign and you find my photo on it and my name on it, Sharon Ineke. The write-up is the second post actually. So you just need to vote by liking the post and following the page. And then on Instagram, you search for MDDT Transparency organization sponsoring the contest. MDDT is Movement for Democracy, Development and Transparency. You search for it and you vote by liking and following the page. It's the same process.
Okay, Sharon, thank you very much for your time. And to listeners of the West Regional Station of the CRTV, do stay tuned only on your number one radio station. I have been Kelvin Nembo. We meet again next time, same station. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.